They are calling it constitutional amendment. But let's call it what it really looks like. A fresh storm is gathering in Abuja, and this one is about money. Your money. The state's money. The lifeline of 200 million Nigerians. Reports say the Senate has quietly begun moves to amend the 1999 Constitution. The goal: increase the federal government's share of revenue from the federation account. The excuse: increased responsibilities. Now pause. Under the current formula, the federal government already takes 52.68% of federation revenue. The 36 states, all of them combined, get 26.72%. The 774 local governments share just 20.6%. Read that again slowly. Abuja already takes more than double what all the states combined receive. And yet, it wants more. A bill sponsored by Senator Sunday Korimi, APC, Kogi West, is pushing for an upward review of the federal government's share. This isn't just controversial. It is explosive. Because at a time when Nigerians are groaning under inflation, unemployment, insecurity, and collapsing infrastructure, the center is asking for a bigger slice of the cake. What cake? The same cake that states depend on to pay salaries. The same cake that funds schools and hospitals. The same cake that should power local development. And someone in Abuja thinks the solution to Nigeria's crisis is to take even more from the bottom and hand it to the top. Let's be honest. Nigeria's problem has never been lack of central power. It has been too much of it. For decades, we have operated a system that calls itself federal but behaves like a unitary state. Power is concentrated. Resources are centralized. Decisions are made from one city. Meanwhile, the states wait every month for allocation like children waiting for pocket money. That is not federalism. That is dependency engineering. Look around the country today. Widespread poverty. Low productivity. A weak private sector in many states. Endemic corruption. Insecurity stretching from forests to highways. And instead of asking, how do we empower states to generate, retain, and control more of their resources? The conversation is shifting to, how do we give the center more? It feels backwards. Because true federalism works the other way around. In functioning federations, subnational governments are strong. They generate revenue. They control key resources. They compete. They innovate. They build. The center coordinates, it does not dominate. But in Nigeria, everything flows upward. Oil revenue flows upward. Customs revenue flows upward. VAT battles go upward. Even security decisions flow upward. Now they want the money to flow upward even more. Let's ask the uncomfortable question: what increased responsibilities justify this demand? Security. States are battling insecurity daily with limited policing power. Education. Most primary and secondary schools are state-run. Healthcare. States carry huge burdens here. Infrastructure. States build and maintain thousands of kilometers of roads. Yet the center wants a larger percentage of the pool. This is why many are calling it what it looks like: fiscal banditry. Because when the center already collects 52.68% and still claims it is not enough, something deeper is wrong. This is not just about percentages on paper. It is about the philosophy of governance. Do we want a Nigeria where states are permanently weak and dependent? Or a Nigeria where states are economically viable, competitive, and accountable to their people? The irony is painful. For years, Nigerians have demanded restructuring. They have called for true federalism. They have argued that too much power and money sit in Abuja. Governors themselves complain privately that they are handcuffed by the system.
The manner of
Yet when an
appropriation of
opportunity
funds
arises
is
to
where
rebalance
trust
power
between
downward,
government
the
and its
movement
people
appears
is
to be
either
upward
built
instead.
or destroyed.
And here's the danger
And,
no one wants to say loudly.
Speaking to
The
the
more
closing
money
part
flows to
of
the
your
center,
presentation,
the more political power
where you
concentrates.
mentioned that
The
the
more
government
political
is trying
power
to mop
concentrates
funds
there,
to
the higher
support
the
the
stakes of
private
capturing
sector.
that center.
I find that quite
And when the
generic and
stakes are that
bland.
high,
And I would like
politics
some
becomes more
explanations
desperate,
as to one.
more toxic, more
Kindly explain
dangerous.
where this money will be mopped from to
Centralization
support
breeds
the private
tension.
sector. Is it from taxes,
Decentralization
duties,
breeds
levies,
competition.
dormant accounts, and so
Competition
much,
breeds
considering the
development.
fact that we
If
have seen
Abuja
an
truly
outcry
has
from the
increased
public
responsibilities,
with regards
then
to
perhaps
heavy
the deeper
taxation.
conversation should be about
Number
devolving
two,
some of those
how
responsibilities
exactly
instead
will
of
the private
demanding more funds
sector
to maintain
access
them.
these funds?
Why
Will it
should
be
every
through
major
banks
function be
and
centralized?
the heavy,
Why can't states control their policing systems?
what's it called, the interest rates?
Why can't
or
resource
are they going to
producing
be
regions have greater
grants?
autonomy?
So how do you
Why must
select
almost everything pass
the
through one funnel?
beneficiaries from the private
These
sector
are the questions
and
true
how you
federalism
will
demands.
access these monies that you are
Instead,
mopping?
what we are seeing feels
And
like
exactly,
the
what's the
opposite of reform.
criteria? What are the terms
It feels
to
like
that,
reinforcement
to
of the
these loans or
status quo,
grants?
only tighter.
And then lastly,
And let's
will
not
these
pretend
funds
this is
be
happening
used
in
to
a vacuum.
provide the enabling
debate is
environment
unfolding
and
in a country where
infrastructure necessary to
many states
support
struggle to pay
entrepreneurs,
wages without
such as
federal allocation.
electricity,
Local
free internet
governments often
access in
exist on
public
paper more than in
spaces,
practice.
roads, and many others? So
Youth
exactly
unemployment is pushing
what
frustration
are
to
you going
boiling
to
point.
do with these funds that will
Inflation
be
is
mopped
eating
up,
incomes alive.
and how will the
In
private
such a
sector
climate,
access
even the
these
perception
funds?
that the
Thank
center
you.
is trying to grab more
Thank you.
could ignite public
Distinguished
outrage.
Senator.
Because people are tired. Tired of promises.
Senator Natasha raised this point, and I'd like to answer it.
Tired of watching the system protect
The
itself instead
Koreas
of
of this
itself.
world, the Singapores of this
The
world,
Constitution
they
was
did
meant to
it, the
create a
Chinas,
federation,
by
not a feudal
mobilizing
hierarchy.
their own savings.
If the
So that
1999
when they produce, they don't
Constitution
consume
needs
everything.
many
They put
Nigerians
some
would
back
argue that
into
it should be
productive
amended to
savings.
empower states,
So between the
strengthen
private
local
sector, the
governments, and
elite
encourage
of the
fiscal
financial
independence.
sector in Nigeria and
to
government
deepen dependence.
were sitting down to come up with
This
a
moment should
national
define the
savings
direction
scheme.
Nigeria
It will be
chooses.
voluntary. It's not
Will we move
taxation.
toward genuine
It's not
restructuring?
compulsory. But it's giving
double
people
down
a
on
chance to
central
have unearned income at
Because
all
once more
levels.
revenue shifts
By
upward,
that, we will
reversing it will be
mobilize
even harder.
funds,
And
even
here's
at
the
the
truth,
grassroots
a
level, to
federation that
complement
keeps centralizing
the
revenue while
world-based
treating
development
federalism
program
risks losing
that
credibility
pushes
entirely.
resources down.
If Abuja
I've
already
mentioned this
receives
week
more
that
than
there was
half
a
of the
big
nation's shared revenue,
announcement by
the burden
major
of proof
investors,
for
the
those
Dangotes
asking
of
for
this
more.
world.
Show
But
the
in
efficiency.
addition, this week,
Show the
there was the
transparency.
Nigeria Youth
Show the
Academy
measurable impact.
gave out funding
Without
to
that,
young
this
people.
proposal
There
will
was
not
the,
look like reform.
another phase
It will look like
of
extraction.
Credit Core, which
Nigeria
gave funds
stands at a
to
crossroads.
young entrepreneurs.
One path
Is by
leads towards
pushing
stronger
down
states, real
resources
competition,
to those levels at which
the other leads toward
people
deeper
are
concentration,
productive,
higher
they're
political
young,
tension,
they're vibrant,
and
and
prolonged
they are
dependency.
getting those
The
resources
Senate's move has
under
opened a
Mr.
debate that
President's
cannot be brushed
renewed
aside quietly.
hope
This is
economic
not just a
reform. So
legislative
that is how we
adjustment.
will do it. It's not by
It is a
borrowing, it's
philosophical
by
battle over the
mobilizing
soul
the
of the
resources of
Federation.
Nigerians. Thank you,
And the question
distinguished
Nigerians
Senator.
must now ask is
If you
simple.
disagree with him,
If
move
this is
your counter
federalism,
motion.
why does it feel like everything still
So
flows in
if
one
you
direction?